What is your position, Prosecutor Ayuchi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing the news statements, it will become abundantly clear. There is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Yunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well, the court invites the witness to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir, at once, sir. Waiting signal to testify, sir. I like the baby on the back. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think? Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name Ido. It seemed those straps were a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido Teen-chan! Your father is about to quell the enemy! Watch and learn, my boy! Ah, he just wants to play with his pinwheel! The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it is almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black, that much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. These testimonies are certainly— Yes! Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone must have seen her. Why are they both looking away? If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the cream of the sign? Scene of the crime. See, I'm already doing it, prepping for Herlock Sholmes. Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearances of this print. It would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. Doesn't make any sense. The court will add the new photographic evidence to the record. Photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies have just been heard, leaves no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Taketsuchi Uchi, please someone tell me how to pronounce that, have contributed to the amity of the two great empires is an honour. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Yunosuke, it's not over yet. What? He's got the same stance as Maya. What you say is true, there's something going on behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. He was literally going on about how to do things. Oh, what a knob. Cross-examination. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise, it's almost the same thing. Do I get punished for pressing? No, it is not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Teen shot! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment I saw you waving a gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antique dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kore Kuta-san? Why is he quiet? Yes, it may be true that I was holding a gun at that point in time, but I've told you already that was because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I'd just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. At exactly that moment, bang! A gunshot ran in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which participated in this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the crowbar on the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament. Excuse me, sir, you are not about to be extradited and held to account for a crime you didn't blooming commit. These are not similar scenarios. Anyway, the fact remains, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Wait, the waiter was there! You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I'm growing callous in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Fortunately, it's already past 2 p.m. when it happened. Quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Suddenly 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of the time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. At a clinic, yes. There would indeed appear to be an entry for that date in question. 19th of November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before us. It really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think? Well, it's hard to see how it could... No, I see how it's related. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence. Yes. I want to see it. Gimme. If I may, I'd like to ask for the medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern. Wrong! Yeah. Whether or not they're of concern is up to us to decide. We have the right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defence's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights is a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. I want to have a look. Let me have a look. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kore Kuta-san. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. I want to look at the court record. It won't let me do that right here. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone? That I did. Forgive me the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? Let us not forget. Something here feels off. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antique stealer, the son, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Therefore, options. What? Wait, what? Oh, it scrolls through. Whoops. I did not mean to do that. I meant to press options. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence, so perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are ones you may examine. Press A and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use that to... Yeah, I love this. I finally get to examine the evidence. I'm so happy. By using this button... Okay. Right to spin, left to... Okay. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. Press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a close look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learnt by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use... Okay. It says Hotter Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Are they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already... Whoops. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would get their right arm to have only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. Gimme! Pull! Oh! What are this? Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, there is an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. He wasn't eating a steak. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It seems so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they use laughing gas. It's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia, although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink beside water for 3 hours post-procedure until anaesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. The medical report card's information has been updated in the court record. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Hang on. Was not the same thing? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young man in black. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that there were only one person present. Indeed, alone he was seen dining all by himself. Hang on, I'm going to save, because I'm not sure if I meant to press on this statement and ask him to give me more info, or it's this statement. He wasn't dining. So you... Oh wait, hang on. Hang on, I'm just going to fast forward this bit because we've seen this. Present! He was not. He wasn't eating it. Excuse me. Well, I think that, But what are you wittering, lad? Everyone stumbles on their words. Don't worry about it. You knew exactly what you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright. Bull. Kore Kuta-san, this is the medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And? I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement? Something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? Okay, I'm going to do my own voice for this one because I keep forgetting what they are. You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words which you might understand. It was after 2 PM in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have had done before that time is completely irrelevant. No! Actually, it's very, very relevant. But that's, remember, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. The witness testimonies the court have heard have been clear and concise. The medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there's no one else beside this pale-faced pupil who could possibly have perpetrated the crime. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? What? The outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hotter Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. Dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating... Just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all in writing in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure whilst anaesthesia wears off. What? No, no. Kore Kuta-san. What, boy, what? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 PM, the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more? You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of anesthesia. Ah! Expertly done, partner. Ah, the baby.
Objection!
Objection! What is this nonsense, you little upstart? I hate people who use the word upstart. These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Objection! Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about, or can't you follow the logic? How? How dare you? I think it fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have been turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? That means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. Okay, it's getting to the point where I might cock this royally, because if I pick the wrong answer, so I'm saving. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been an as-yet third party. The lady I'm telling you all about.
Objection!
You will not let this go on. There was no such person. Shut up. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything, yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Kasuma? Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel, I have no issue with you. What do you mean? The issue is with them, those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in the murder? No! Maybe didn't like that one.
Hold it!
Hold it! I've got my pinwheel. Negative. That there was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right. All the man says, just say is you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh. What did you just say? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Hold on, lad, I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas?
Objection!
What? What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true? Just one simple slip of the tongue. Come on, you're willing to have a person killed. Counsel, explain what is going on here. It is painfully clear now you tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. Kid is not happy. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening! Yunosuke? Judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. Almost like the mentor, maybe? However, I don't believe Uchi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Or a teacher. Any ideas about who might be behind this? We can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses. We can continue our pursuit. I'm saving! I am not willing to fail at this point. I feel like I'm doing quite well. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly? Court record. Examine. Can't examine that anymore. What's that say? Well, that's unexpected. What is it? Look, do you see the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, the business tends to show someone's name, that's the point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job? Oh. Chief Inspector? Primary... Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea, but let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence and they're wielding it somewhere here. The waiter's business card information has been updated. Oh, sneaky bugger. That's why he didn't want to give it in. I know who did it. Or I know who lied about. Who made them lie. Okay, here's the person who did it. Here we go, and this is why he's in all the episodes. He's not just a waiter, he's a very powerful man. Satoru Hosonaga-san. The waiter who took the stand earlier.
Objection!
No. Poppycock. What possible reason would a waiter have to make a witness give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not have possibly that level of influence. For once, I agree with you. If that is, the man truly were a waiter. He truly were? Come on, Yunosuke, it's trying to hit this court with the truth. Truth about Satoru's real identity as proven by the evidence. Here you go. He's not a waiter. He's planned the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything from that. Sorry, Your Excellency, it's the back of the card. The back of the card that's interesting. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front. Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say. Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of the business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard of anyone mention this before. Why haven't I heard anyone mention this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power as far as regular citizens are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Oh, is he back? Hello, Inspector Hosonaga? I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. Was he shot? Here you go. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It is my guiding principle. I feel like he's a precursor to the Von Karmas because perfect was their motto as well. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So you mean to say you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Oh, of course! Your salary must be terrible! I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kinds of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer you required these witnesses to be in agreement. What, would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the table was a young lady who I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if the Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearances of the Phantom Woman in this case. But I'm still being held accountable for murder. The primary witness, the potential murderer, is gone. I'm a scapegoat. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. Nope. The Englishwoman sitting in the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of UMA University's medical facility. What is happening? He is really tall. I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence from the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Unfortunately, it's still in question whether he did it or not. Like, he's not innocent just because they were lying about whether or not another person was there. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that his premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of ruling order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings in my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir? You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you received from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So that won't be a problem? Nothing will get in my way. Poor dude, his health is failing. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency. Good, then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. To be continued! Dum 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 dum. Dum da da dum dum dum. Yes, save my progress. Oh boy, that was... Nope. I'm going to end this episode here. These episodes would have been chopped up into about half-hour slots, but let me know if you'd like me to change the format, maybe do like full case points in one episode, but be aware that if that is the case, they will probably be 1 to 2 hour episodes, depending on how long it takes for me to investigate, etc. But please do let me know what you think, and yeah, this has been everything I expected it to be so far. And if anyone has any suggestions about why the sound effects aren't working through my capture card, please do let me know, because I would love to fix that. I miss the sound effects, all the the tappy tap things that come through when people are talking and whatnot. Yeah. I hope to see you in the next episode, where hopefully, I'm assuming because he's in the later series, he doesn't get charged, but like hopefully I can get him off as innocent, because I think he probably is at this point. Have a very lovely day, and most importantly of all, you do you.